They tell you Jamaica is dangerous, but Chicago has tripled the murder rate. So why aren't they telling tourists to stay locked in their hotels there?
As a tourist, don't leave your hotel when you go to Jamaica. This morning, I was here at the pool. The gentleman came to clean the pool and we were having a conversation. And he heard my accent and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Jamaica." So he said, "Well, I'd love to visit Jamaica." You know, and I tell him that the beaches are as beautiful as the pool water. All right? And he was like, "Yo, I'd love to see it." And then he said to me, everybody who has said that to said, when I go to Jamaica, I shouldn't leave my hotel. I shouldn't leave where I'm staying. And that's a misconception that a lot of people spread. You see, I've been a Jamaican all my life. Growing up in Jamaica, living in Jamaica. And there's one thing I know about Jamaica, is that if you don't mess with people, people don't mess with you. The same criminal who just went around the corner and shot somebody dead, running away from the crime scene, see an old lady struggling to get in her house, will actually help that lady to get into her house safely and then be off about his business. That same criminal who just left the crime scene will see that gentleman walking to trying to find his way and will say to him, "Hey, go in the house because it's dangerous out here." Jamaica is not a den of wolves. You see, the people who get caught up in the craziness, those are the people who will get what is coming to them. I grew up there and I've sat on corner and say, a guy come around with a gun, and I got up and I went in my house because I'm not about that life. So if you stay out of their way, they'll stay out of your way. And tourists, when you go to Jamaica, enjoy the island. Go to Kingston. Go to the nice spots. Go to see how the locals are living, because nobody's messing with you, yo. Nobody's messing with you.
Every time someone mentions visiting Jamaica, here comes the warnings. Don't leave the resort, don't go downtown, don't explore, but mention New York, London or Atlanta, cities with neighborhoods even locals won't walk through at night. And suddenly, everyone's is a travel expert recommending Broadway shows and public roles. And this is not about safety, by the way. This is about perception. This is about how we've been programmed to fear Black and Caribbean spaces while romanticizing violence in Western cities. Okay, what if I told you that the same energy that makes you lock your doors in certain parts of Brooklyn should make you question why Jamaica gets singled out when tourists there experience more genuine hospitality than they'll find in most major cities? Guys, stay with me because we're about to expose this double standard that's been hiding in plain sight. I'll be back.
So I'm glad you commented, because so many people have been flooding my comments about this level 3 travel advisory that has been instituted about traveling to Jamaica. When personally, I actually feel safer living in Jamaica than I did in the US. I used to live in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, if you know Atlanta, the crime is happening there, okay? And when you call the police, they're going to show up when they feel like showing up, which is probably like an hour or two after the crime was committed. Before I even addressed this topic, I wanted to dig deeper and see like what the media was saying. But all of the US media is saying the same thing. So they must be pulling this data all from the same one resource, like, which seems kind of like sketch. But for my recommendations, if you do intend on visiting Jamaica in the near future, stay on the resort if you feel so fearful, or stay in touristy areas. Don't go beyond those touristy areas and hire a driver. That's it. That's all.
And another thing, why is it that people actually believe that Jamaica's unsafe? Right now, the phone that I'm filming with, it's just a phone that I have to take pictures. It doesn't have a SIM card in it. It doesn't have anything in it. So if anything happens to me right now, I have no way to call anyone. But I feel so safe, like, bro. I don't understand. I'm on the side of the road right now. There's so many cars. You can see they're passing me in the background. And I'm fine. Nobody's even beeping me. I feel so comfortable to do this. So if you guys are afraid to come to Jamaica and you're scared to walk and people have been, spreading that propaganda, don't believe it. I always say there's crime here, but unless you're involved in the crime.
Good people, welcome back, and I hope you're doing good. So you know what's fascinating? Yeah? I can guarantee that half the people warning you about Jamaica have never stepped their foot on the island, but they'll confidently tell you it's too dangerous while planning their next trip to cities with murder rates that make Kingston look like Disneyland. Let me paint you a picture. I'm scrolling through travel forums and there is this consistent pattern. Someone posts about visiting Jamaica and immediately the comments flood in. Stay on the resort. Don't venture out alone. It's too dangerous. But scroll up to the thread about visiting New York and it's all about which neighborhoods have the best nightlife, the hottest restaurants, the coolest underground scenes, And here is what's wild. Statistically, you're more likely to be a victim of violent crime in cities like Baltimore, Detroit, St. Louis, or New Orleans than you're in most parts of Jamaica. But nobody's telling tourists to stay locked in their hotels when they visit the French Quarter. And this is just about crime statistics. I'm talking about narrative control. I'm talking about how certain places get painted with a broad brush of fear while others get the golden treatment of tourism boards and travel influencers. Guys, let us break this down, this double standards, because it's more insidious than you think. First up, the numbers don't lie, but the interpretation does. When Jamaica's crime rate gets reported, it's presented as evidence that the entire island is a war zone. When similar or worse statistics come out about major American cities, they are contextualized. Oh, that's just certain neighborhoods. Most of the city is perfectly safe. Just avoid these specific areas. But when you come to Jamaica, the entire country gets labeled as a dangerous based on incidents that primarily affect people involving criminal activities. It is like judging all of New York because, based on what happens in the most dangerous precincts in the Bronx. Number two, there is this colonial hangover in how we process danger. Western cities are allowed complexity, but like London can have a knife crime and acid attacks, but we still celebrate its culture, history, and charm. Paris can have no-go zones and terrorist incidents, but it's still the city of love and light. But Jamaica, a Caribbean nation trying to build its economy through tourism, gets reduced to a cautionary tale. There is no room for nuance, no space for the reality that millions of people live there safely, that tourists explore beyond resort daily without incident, that the warmth and hospitality are genuine. Third, the media machine amplifies certain narratives while suppressing others. A violent incident in Jamaica becomes international news. A violent incident in Atlanta barely makes local headlines. Why? Because Jamaica dangerous fits the narrative. Jamaica safe doesn't generate clicks. I've lived in both Jamaica and major American cities, and let me tell you something. I felt safer walking through Spanish Town and Kingston than I did through certain parts of Atlanta at night. But you'll never hear that perspective because it doesn't align with the established narrative. Guys, I schooled in the America and I can tell you this. Okay, here is where it gets personal for me and all of us in the diaspora. And this is not just about tourism or crime statistics. I'm talking about how our homelands, our ancestral spaces, our Caribbean identity gets weaponized against us. And when people warn you about Jamaica with that concern that, look, what they really saying is those people, those places, that culture is inherently dangerous. It's the same energy that makes people clutch their pearls when we move into their neighborhoods, lock their car doors when we walk by, assume we are there with the help when we show up to business meetings. And this narrative about Jamaica being uniquely dangerous serves a purpose. It keeps people from experiencing authentic Caribbean culture. It keeps tourist dollars flowing to sanitize resorts experiences instead of local communities. It maintains this psychological distance between civilized Western spaces and dangerous black spaces. Some BS double standards by the way. And here's the kicker, that people spreading these warnings often have never experienced what they are warning against. Like, they've never set a foot in the Caribbean, not even Jamaica itself. They're operating off headlines, assumptions, and inherited biases. Meanwhile, actual travelers who've explored Jamaica extensively tell stories of kindness, safety, cultural richness, and genuine human connection. Okay, let me tell you something, and I'll quote. The same people who won't talk through certain parts of their own cities at night are the ones telling you our country is unsafe. Right? The same New Yorker who knows to flash expensive jewelry in certain subway stations will tell you Jamaica is too dangerous to explore, as if common sense only applies to Western cities. Now, guys, this disappoints me because Jamaica, like many Caribbean and African nations, get robbed of its complexity. There is no space for the grandmother who opens up a yard to feed strangers, the taxi driver who becomes your tour guide and friend, the community rallies around visitors who help. Instead, there is this reduced narrative, dangerous island, stay on desert, don't explore, and people internalize this so deeply that they miss out on authentic experiences while perpetuating harmful stereotypes about Caribbean spaces. The real tragedy is how this narrative affects young Caribbean people growing up in the diaspora. They absorb these messages that their ancestral homeland is something to fear rather than something to be proud of and embrace. They disconnect from their roots because they've been taught that home is dangerous. But here's what these warnings they won't tell you. The same community dynamics that exist everywhere exist in Jamaica. If you're not involved in criminal activities, if you are respectful, if you use basic travel common sense, you likely have incredible experiences with incredible warm people. The difference is that Jamaica, unlike many major cities, the locals will actually look out for you. They'll tell you which areas to avoid. They'll help you navigate. They'll invite you to experience authentic culture. Try getting that level of community care in most major Western cities. No, you won't get that. So what's the solution here? Number one, we need to challenge these narratives when we hear them. Ask people spreading warnings about Jamaica if they actually have been to Jamaica. If you haven't been to the island, don't talk about it. Ask them why they don't apply the same caution to cities with worse crime rates like Atlanta, New York, and Chicago. Number two, we need to amplify authentic voices. People like me who have visited, experienced Jamaica, people like me who spread good narratives about Jamaica, you need to listen to us. You need to share videos like this. Tell people out there. Tell them about the Bantu merchant. Number three, we need to recognize this pattern because how many African countries get painted with the same broad brush? Like, don't go to Kenya, don't go to Nigeria. How many Caribbean islands get reduced to cautionary tales? How many black and brown spaces get denied the complexity and nuance that Western cities take for granted? The double standard around Jamaica is not really about Jamaica. It's about how they have been conditioned to perceive black and Caribbean spaces as inherently dangerous while normalizing violence in spaces we've been taught to respect. Jamaica is a complex place like everywhere else. It has challenges like everywhere else. It also has incredible beauty, cultures, hospitality, and safety for people who approach it with respect and common sense like everywhere else. So the question is not whether Jamaica is safe. The question is why we apply different standards of fear and caution to Caribbean spaces than we do to Western cities with similar or worse statistics. Until we address that double standard, we'll keep perpetuating harmful narratives that rob places like Jamaica of their tourism dollars, cultural exchange, and the basic dignity of complexity. Your turn to break the cycle, challenge the warnings, seek authentic voices like me, and maybe, just maybe, experience the warm hospitality that millions of visitors discover when they move beyond the fear-based narratives. I'd like to come to Jamaica, guys, because Jamaica is not uniquely dangerous. It's uniquely misunderstood. And let me tell you, it is the pearl of the Caribbean. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Kindly let us become a family, let us become a community by liking this video so that it can be suggested to so many people as possible. Turn on post notifications because every day I post videos like this and I'd like you to be the very first person to watch my content. Don't forget to subscribe so that we can become a family together. Peace out.